based on reports coming out of that courtroom, the jury, when that lie about the Schiller phone call about Daniels was exposed, that the jurors perked up and started looking at one another.
You lie, they start to listen. All right, let's bring in our next guest, who was at the New York State Supreme Courthouse today showing support for Donald Trump. That'd be Florida Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna. Congresswoman, good to see you. Just want to get, you're in the courtroom today. I want to get your reaction to Cohen's testimony today in the courtroom.
I mean, when you're sitting there and you hear a witness on the witness stand admit that he's lied to Congress alone over 4 times, when you're sitting there and you're looking at the jury basically say, again, going back with the back and forth, I mean, the whole entire thing, you can tell that this witness, A, is not credible, but I just want to point something out. The judge, his daughter, is raising so much money off of this in support of Kamala Harris, in support of the Democrat nominees, and also to the individual, Representative Goldman, who actually prepared Cohen for testimony in today's trial, is actually a client of the judge's daughter. And so the ironic part in this whole thing is the defense actually read Cohen's own statements about New York City's prosecutors and New York City's actual judicial system being corrupt. And so the minute that happened, you could even see the judge kind of flinch in his seats. But this is absolutely a sham. I think the American people know it. And frankly, I think the jurors know it too.
Before we move on, Congresswoman, how is the president's demeanor?
I mean, he's in good spirits. The fact is, though, is that they are doing everything they can to prevent him from really focusing on his reelection. But I mean, he checks polls every day, and honestly, he was in great spirits today. We actually had a lot of time with him, not just at the courthouse, but also at Trump Towers. And what I will tell you is I think that it's important for the American people to know that they're preventing media from actually going in there with cameras, because the leftist narrative on this, they want to shape it and try to paint Trump like he's a criminal when he's not. And so I think it's important for citizen journalists to use their social media to get the information out there. But just know this judge is corrupt. His daughter is a part of it. There is an orchestrated attempt by the Biden administration to try to keep this man off of the ballot this election cycle, and it's not going to happen. His polling's going up. He's in great spirits, and we're going to kick their butts at the polls.
It's got to be helpful for your morale when you have your friends and your family in the courtroom supporting you. But Congressman, let's move on to this, because President Biden has formally asserted executive privilege to block the House GOP's efforts to gain access to the audio recordings of his interview with special counsel Robert Hur. I wonder why. The House Judiciary Committee voted earlier today to hold Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt of Congress for defying a subpoena to release that audio. House Oversight Committee plans to hold a similar vote later on tonight. Meanwhile, Garland says Biden did it because the requests aren't the real deal. Watch.
We have gone to extraordinary lengths to ensure that the committees get responses to their legitimate requests. But this is not one. To the contrary, this is one that would harm our ability in the future to successfully pursue sensitive investigations.
Congresswoman, again, Merrick Garland doesn't decide what's relevant or appropriate for Congress to subpoena. The Congress decides what you're going to subpoena.
Most certainly. In fact, I'm actually going to that hearing at 8 p.m. tonight. It's projected to probably go past midnight in order for us to get that through committee. But I want to remind the American people something. There's something called inherent contempt of Congress, and I actually filed this resolution against Garland because I don't believe that the DOJ is going to be holding Garland in contempt, especially when we pass this off the House floor. And so in 10 days after this resolution passes on our House floor, I'm going to be bringing that up for a vote. And again, Merrick Garland doesn't decide that. It's up to Congress. And of course, he's going to make that argument because he's trying to backtrack on the fact that he never responded to multiple subpoenas, not just from judiciary, but from oversight. And so again, these people think that they're above the law. Joe Biden's sitting there playing games, making these clownish references at hearing that President Trump's available on Wednesdays. Well, guess what? Not all of us want to sit up here and just pass messaging bills, and we're going to hold them accountable.
Right. If the contempt issue passed the full House of Congress, Merrick Garland would essentially have to prosecute himself. That's how it would go. And I'll remind people that Peter Navarro is in jail right now for contempt of Congress. But do we have a quick, Hillary Vaughn caught up with some House Democrats to get their reaction to Biden's decision to exert executive privilege over the audio recordings. Just watch this real quick.
Can I ask you what your reaction is to the president using executive privilege over the Hur tape audio?
I think it's a good legal defense, and it's a protect the presidency, protect the justice system.
What is he hiding or afraid of?
Hiding anything. Who are you with, Fox?
Because I'm going to tell you what Jim Jordan's going to do. He's going to splice up the audio and then release it and make it seem out of context. That's the only reason they would want the audio, because we have the full transcript.
Real quick, Congresswoman, your reaction to that?
Yeah, of course they're going to try to say that we're doing one thing. But again, going back to, I don't believe that the DOJ will hold Garland in contempt. I think that it's going to be Congress that has to do that. And so when we bring that inherent contempt resolution, it will be up to Congress to bring forward that punitive action. They have no right or authority to decide what we get to say, what works and what doesn't work. And frankly, if they gave us a transcript, why not give us the audio? What is the DOJ hiding and what is Biden hiding is a question.
No doubt. Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it, and good luck tonight at the hearing.
Thanks.